Alright, so data structures and algorithms. They're pretty important if you want to be a software engineer. You're going to have to pass an interview. That interview is going to be on data structures and algorithms. And if you're like me and you want a software engineering internship, then it's pretty much the same exact interviewing process. Normally, when you're applying to internships, you do so after having taken the data structures and algorithms course in your university's computer science curriculum. But I'm not in that situation. I have a weird college background. I'm a first year, but I'm a junior. I'm a computer science student, but I might just make it a minor and major in econ, and it's a whole thing. I have YouTube videos about it. They will be linked down below, but I am nowhere close to on track to take the data structures and algorithms course before my software engineering internship interviews. Now, they aren't coming around the corner. I know some kids are taking them now for their summer internship, summer 2021. I kind of missed the boat on that. I was a first year student this year. I wasn't originally a computer science student, and kind of by the time all my stuff was together and I had the programming prowess that I might start to apply to internships, then the boat had sailed. But that is not necessarily a bad thing. That means that I have a fair amount of time before I would ever get an actual software engineering internship interview to teach myself data structures and algorithms, and that's what this series is going to be all about. This series is going to be pretty similar to my DIY data science series, where I taught myself as much data analysis and machine learning and data science as possible in a 6 to 7 week time frame. And in this first episode, I'm going to be introducing myself, my timeline, and what I plan on doing to get prepared. So I made a YouTube video about lessons that I learned from my DIY data science series, and I'll go over them briefly here, but if you want me to go more in depth, then definitely go check out that video. This series is also going to cover me teaching myself web development. I need projects on my resume before I send them out to companies in the fall, and web development is a pretty efficient way of doing that. So I made a YouTube video about lessons learned from my DIY data science series, and if you want me to go more in depth and you want to hear more lessons learned, then please be sure to go check out that video. But there are two things that I think are particularly applicable to the learning that I'm going to be doing now, and that is simplicity and project-based learning. The first one, simplicity, is simple. Here's my curriculum for about the next semester's worth of programming. Free Code Camp, MIT's Data Structures and Algorithms course. Now, once I finish the Data Structures and Algorithms course, I'll probably move on to Algo Expert or LeetCode. And after Free Code Camp, I'm going to move directly into projects. But overall, those two things, Free Code Camp and MIT, that's the core of this curriculum. And that's a lot simpler compared to the various courses that I planned on taking during the DIY data science series. And I kind of already hinted at it, but that second point was projects. And as soon as I am done with Free Code Camp, which I don't even know if I'll finish Free Code Camp before I move on to this, I want to start building projects. Actual, quantitative, real projects that will be able to be put on a resume. They might not be the most complex projects, they might not have the prettiest code, but I firmly believe that project-based learning is the way to go. It's what everyone talks about on YouTube, and I thought I had built a relatively project-based approach in my DIY data science series, but I learned that I was sorely mistaken, and I needed to completely flip the ratio of course to project. There's one main project, then another side project that I want to build. The side project, just to get it out of the way, is a Microsoft Word plugin. I have a distinct way of writing my essays, and I think it would be beneficial if I could have a plugin that kind of had some notes on the side, and I visually, I know how I want it to look. It's actually done in Node.js, so I'll be learning the tools for that while I'm learning front-end development, and I think it'll be a cool, simple, easy project that's definitely resume-worthy if I do it well enough. And then the main project that I really want to put a lot of time into is kind of a productivity app that's particularly tailored to my asynchronous lifestyle. And I don't want to go too deep into it because I have a lot of thoughts and I have a lot of ideas for it. This is something that's been building in my mind for pretty much years at this point. I've never been satisfied with any productivity app that I've ever used. So I'll probably make a video down the line outlining what I want the app to be like, but I kind of want that to be after I learn a little bit more programming so that I'm not completely talking out of my ass about what my abilities might be. I have no idea if one idea that I have is just wildly complex to implement and I have no shot of doing it, so I'm just gonna hold off until I have a clearer vision. So let me take the end of this video to update you on what I have already done. I've completed the first week and a half of MIT's Data Structures and Algorithms course. We went over some basic binary search tree algorithms. We kind of got a theoretical look into how algorithms are implemented and a fundamental view of big O notation, which I was already loosely familiar with, but they definitely went deeper. And it looks like the course is going to be relatively evenly paced, with each lecture covering a different type of algorithm, and then the homework associated with that lecture, which is all available for free on MIT OpenCourseWare. It's honestly a blessing that it exists for free. It's mind-boggling to me. But it's there, and the homework is a really good supplement. It doesn't take too long. I'm really enjoying the class. It was recommended to me by Trent Black, who's a YouTuber, not directly, in his Data Structures and Algorithms YouTube video, which is really informative and really funny too. So definitely go check that out if you're interested in this topic. And on the Free Code Camp side, I have finished their JavaScript Data Structures and Algorithms certification, which it says that it should take you 300 hours. It did not take me 300 hours. It took me 40? 40 probably is about right. But I was coming from Python. I had already kind of taken some intro Python courses, gotten really familiar with Python, so transferring all of that to JavaScript was really easy. I blew through the first half of it because it was all the same stuff. I'm moving on to the HTML and CSS certification from Free Code Camp. I kind of expect to blow through it. I already know a decent amount of HTML, just learning stuff in high school, and I don't really know much CSS, but I mean, how hard can it be? I guess that's everyone's last words, but it should go by pretty quick, and then I look forward to getting into their actual front-end library certification, which should really be the icing on the cake before I'm kind of not ready, but pretty close to ready to start working on projects. Free Code Camp is awesome because of how interactive the learning is. Every time they teach you something, you have to implement it in code in the same window, and you can't move on without implementing that code. So it really helps you play around, kind of just see how it works. Even if the answer is really obvious, which oftentimes it is, I'll normally play around, change some variables, just see what I can do to get a deeper understanding of what I'm dealing with. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I don't want to make the intro too long. I don't know what I'm going to call this yet. DIY Data Structures and Algorithms doesn't exactly roll off the tongue. I could do a DIY internships, got the path to getting an internship. I don't know. We'll see what works good in the YouTube algorithm. But my name is Alex Bianchi. This used to be Define Wisdom, but I haven't been calling this channel that recently, and yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like, comment, subscribe. It all helps out the channel immensely. If you have any recommendations on sources, resources, anything for my learning journey, then let me know down below. Peace.